Welcome to Your Take, My Take. Your opinion matters just as much as ours. It's your boys, FTB, Fluffy, Tiny, and Biggz. Today, we're winding down to the end of the NBA season. And a hot topic this time of the year is always, who is the NBA MVP? So, we want to know, who is the MVP? So enough with the Fluffy.
I mean, bro, you got to start with Mr. Triple-Double.
Come on, man. You got to fear the beard.
Wait, hold up. We're forgetting about the king.
Yo. So, first of all, you have to go with Russell Westbrook, who's Mr. Triple-Double. This dude, last year, he lost probably the second best small forward in the NBA in Kevin Durant, this dude went to freaking the Warriors. Soft as hell move.
Soft as move.
This dude, Westbrook, he's doing things that you couldn't even believe. He's averaging triple-double first time since, 61, 62, with who? Oscar Robertson?
Oscar Robertson.
Yo, this dude was...
Big O.
Yo, this dude is such a monster this year. 31 points. He's leading the league in points per game. He's third in assists. He's 11th in rebounds as a point guard. It's insane. You look at his team. His team is nothing compared to the rest of the teams in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, they're seventh in the West. Yeah. You got Oladipo's averaging
sixth, I'm not sure.
Seventh. They're the bottom half of the Western playoff race. But look at the team that Thunder have. They got Oladipo, 16 points a game. Steven Adams, 11.7 and 7 rebounds a game. You got Cantor, 14.5 points a game. I mean, you got to look at this. Westbrook is doing things we haven't seen since Oscar Robertson in 1962. Oscar Robertson, when he averaged a triple-double, he didn't even win MVP. But you look at the team he had around him, it was a lot better than the Thunder. You got Jack Twyman, whatever his name is, 23 points a game and 8 rebounds. Wayne Embry, almost 20 points a game and 13 rebounds. Bob Boozer, 13.7 and 10.2. Westbrook is doing amazing things this year. 35 triple-doubles. He is so close to the NBA record of 41. This guy, if he doesn't get MVP, which I honestly don't think he will, I think Harden's going to win MVP, first of all. The writers are going to go with the winning team, in my opinion. But Westbrook should be MVP just on this.
Tiny?
Well, honestly, you got to look at Harden. Number 2 in scoring, number 1 in assists, and 8 rebounds per game. First of all, much better record than the OKC. He has higher stats per possession. And the funny thing is, you're talking about 31 points per game, right? Harden averages 28 points per game. Do you know that it takes Russell Westbrook an average of 5 more shots to get 3 more points? Come on, I can make 1 3-pointer and I got 3 points right there. It's not that hard. Plus, they did lose Dwight Howard, who is, one of the most dominant centers in the NBA. And look, there's 20 points in the NBA. He's number 5 with the true shooting percentage. He has 19 triple-doubles, so it's not like he's that far off. And he's on pace to win 62 games. Plus, we can't forget the historic triple-double. 53 points, 16 rebounds, 17 assists.
Can I say something, though? You're saying Dwight Howard, Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant he was probably the best player on that team until he left. It was 1A, 1B with them two. Dwight Howard was a cancer in that locker room. It was pretty much addition by subtraction.
Kevin Durant was a top 2 NBA player, top 3 NBA player.
And they got the best coach. They got the best coach that fits their system with D'Antoni. Yep. D'Antoni, when he was with the Suns with Steve Nash, he killed it with that run and gun offense.
And when he was with the Knicks, he was fantastic too, right?
Well, I mean, when you got Melo doing the crap that he's doing, obviously he's going to struggle.
And they have shooters all around. So.
I mean, they were doing okay with Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin sanity. Yo, this dude was killing it with D'Antoni. D'Antoni, he doesn't get enough credit when he was with the Knicks and the Lakers.
Look, if you have a higher efficiency, higher possessions, higher stats, and you're winning. The difference of their stats, if you look at both players next to each other, stats are pretty much the same.
But I think it's easier to be more efficient if you have a good team around you. You got Eric Gordon, you got Ryan Anderson, you got Lou Williams. They just got him from the Lakers.
You also got Steven Adams, very dominant defensive big man. Enes Kanter's a very good scorer. Victor Oladipo. These are all also pieces that contribute. But how many points is Victor Oladipo averaging
16
this year?
A game.
16 points a game. That's a lot.
Okay. But you look at the rest of the team, you got only these 4 guys that are averaging double figures. Everyone else off the bench is playing
How
like
many
trash.
guys average double figures on, Houston?
I don't know.
Okay, but you have to think about this, right? You brought up Steven Adams, who's a big man in the paint, right? But then you look at the Houston Rockets with James Harden. They have complete shooters, which opens up the floor. Russell Westbrook's not really a shooter per se. He's more of an attacker to the basket. With Steven Adams in the paint, that's going to clog it up.
I mean,
James-
no one's saying that what James Harden's doing is amazing. It's insane.
Yes.
This dude, he was a shooting guard last year. Everyone was ripping him because he's not playing defense. He's not doing anything. This dude's leading the league in assists.
Well, look, one thing. Both players, defensive efficiency this season, have not been that good. Plus, both of them are turning the ball over like crazy. What do you think? Who's your player?
All right, obviously I'm gonna go with the king, LeBron James. At first I don't know if I want to go with the Claw, Kawhi Leonard, or LeBron James, but I had to go with LeBron James because LeBron James is a 4-time MVP, right? His last one was in 2013 before Kevin Durant won in 2014, and these are his best stats since then, right? So he's averaging 26 points a game, 9 assists per game, 8 rebounds per game, and you guys brought up efficiency. Efficiency is shooting 54% from the field. 38% from the three, which is his best or second best in his career. So he's working on that. The guy is 32 years old and he's averaging 30 and he's playing 38 minutes a game. He also never misses time. Out of 71 games that they've played, he played 65 out of those games. And out of the 6 he did not play, I'm not exactly sure. The Cavs either lost 5 or 6 out of those 6 games. He's also a lockdown defender, 1.3 steals per game, half a block per game, and their team is first in the East and fourth entire NBA. Now you guys want to bring up, what about the players around them? You want to bring up the players around them? Look at it. J.R. Smith out for most of the season. Kevin Love has get back to the point where they're losing almost every game that he's not playing. So what does that say? That LeBron James, in my opinion,
You're forgetting one guy that he has, Kyrie Irving. This dude is pretty much the best scoring shooting guard, point guard, besides Steph Curry, obviously. This dude is insane.
Yeah, okay, you can bring him Kyrie Irving, but when LeBron James is not playing, Kyrie Irving is, and they're still losing.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of LeBron. I
love LeBron.
I think he's the best player of all time. That's an argument for another day.
That's gonna be a different video, guys.
That's another video.
But efficiency, yeah. But I'm talking about right now a player that's like for his team. You have James Harden, who this guy. How many triple doubles did he have with 40 points? 53 points triple double. Think about somebody that's done that.
I mean, you got Westbrook, the first ever perfect triple double. First ever perfect.
I mean,
triple-double.
it's 6 shots, 6 field goals. I understand that, but
perfect, historic.
You guys want to bring up
First
triple?
ever.
You guys want to bring up triple doubles? LeBron James has 10. Yeah, okay, 10 triple doubles, which is still a lot. But
35.
But compared, it's a little. But I think he had 2 or 3 games span where he had, in 3 games he had triple double each game, and I personally believe that would just to prove a point that he could get a triple double if he wants to, if he's trying to get a triple double.
Can I tell you guys something though? My issue with this award, it's that most valuable players should be most valuable player to your team.
That's true.
This usually goes to the best player on the best team in the NBA.
On the season.
I mean, last year it went to Steph Curry, last 2 years went to Steph Curry, who deserved it. But when you look at the most valuable player in the NBA, it should be Westbrook, because you take Westbrook off that team, they're not even a lot. They're a lottery team. They're not even in the Western Conference playoff race.
now look, if you're talking about regular season, if you're taking a player out of the team to see how the team functions, you take out Harden or Westbrook. I feel like the effect would be so much more than if you took LeBron out of Cleveland.
Yeah, honestly.
LeBron is a monster. LeBron is I think he's the best, but then that's a different argument. But for a player that team is stacked. You got Kyrie, you got Kevin Love.
They've been injured.
As a backup
But
point
they've
guard.
been injured.
Kyrie hasn't, but these
Yeah,
are still
but Kyrie,
players.
Kyrie, if he's the number 1 player on that team, he would take over the game.
But not only that, think about the pieces though.
No, yeah.
You got Darren Williams as a backup point guard.
And they just got him.
They got him. They got
they just
Derrick
got him.
Williams. You got Channing Frye. You got Richard Jefferson.
Richard
who
Jefferson has
though
been fantastic for them
100%.
lately.
Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith is back from
And they
his
got
injury.
Larry Sanders too.
Kyle Korver, Deadeye, shooter. So yeah, I feel like if you take out Harden or Westbrook, the effect would be really bad because both teams have a lot of players that, yeah, they're decent role players, but by themselves they're not going to do anything.
But James Harden is a ball dominant player. So when he's in the game, he has the ball with him the whole entire time. LeBron James, the ball moves, the ball is moving around. James Harden holds the ball, drives in, whatever, and he has shooters to kick out to. He has Eric Gordon and Lou Williams, and a bunch of other shooters who right now slip in my mind. But so he has shooters. He has shooters that opens up the floor.
I mean, the thing with LeBron, he is the best right now all around player in the league. That's not what we're talking about, defensively, offensively. But when you talk about the MVP, you're talking about that season. Who is the most valuable to their team? As LeBron, as great as he is, that's why you call him, the king. You have Harden and Westbrook, two players that, let's not lie, these players were... Harden, who was Harden? Harden was a sixth man. He was a sixth man that would play well. He 20 points, 30 points. This guy now went from being one of the best six men in the league, if not the best six man at the time, to being a top candidate for an MVP. Westbrook wasn't always an amazing player. I'm not going to lie. Since he lost Kevin Durant, it made a difference because now he's handling the ball a lot. So he's a main ball handler. But Harden he's a player that, against all odds, proved himself to be great.
I think this argument just proves why no one on Golden State should be MVP. Not Curry, not Durant. These two, like you take Durant off of them, they're still a championship team. Mm-hmm. You take Curry off of them, and they have Durant, still a championship team.
Absolutely.
That's why if you take Harden, you take Westbrook, you take LeBron off their teams, they're not championship teams.
Not to mention Kawhi Leonard, who's a defensive two or three time defensive player of the year, two-time defensive player of the year. Still probably gonna win it again this year. He's also made an improvement. You bring up improvement of James Harden. You made improvement of his. In the beginning of his career, I was like, he could play defense.
He's traded for George Hill.
But I was scared. But I was scared when he has the ball in his hands. Now we want him to have the ball in his hands.
You think about it too. If you take Kawhi off the Spurs, they're still a playoff team, but they're not championship.
They're
team.
not championship contender.
Like Kawhi is the best defensive player in the NBA.
As long as you have Greg Popovich, nothing's gonna go wrong.
But Kawhi is the best defensive player in the NBA right now.
That's why
his offensive game is deadly
too. Is improving by the day.
Remember his game winner against Houston? That game, he was a monster.
He's improving by the day. His offensive.
Right after that game, everyone was like, "That's it. Kawhi is MVP."
He's like a 43% shooter from three, and also a 50+% shooter from the field. So his offense is improving. His defense is crazy.
I think guys, this just proves that everyone's got a different opinion on who MVP is. Why don't you guys put in the comments below who you think MVP is going to be and why they are MVP?
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.